Yo, what's going on, man? Today is December the 14th, 2023. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. I'm live on Twitter right now. I'm also live on YouTube as well. Do me a favor as you guys join. As always, hit the like button for me. Run that like button up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and turn the notification bell on if you guys know when I want to go. If you guys want to know when I go live. Coming off a stinker, man, 0-3 day yesterday, and I'm only laughing because I love the spots. I knew I was due for some regression at a certain point because we had been, pretty much on a heater the last couple of days, and the 3 plays that I was on yesterday, loved all of them. I'll probably play all of them over again. Those 3 plays were I had Ivy over his 10.5 points. We just see his minutes go back down. Not sure what Monty Williams is doing with that team because Killian Hayes was playing ahead of him. I said the pivot. If people were here yesterday, I said the alternate route. If you don't want to play, the correlation was to take Killian Hayes under his 10.5 points. So him and Jordan Jaden Ivey was set at 10.5, and they both go under. So I take the over on Jaden Ivey. His minutes, he plays less than. I gave out the numbers with him playing 30 minutes, thinking that he would get close to that. And Jaden Ivey goes under. He finishes with 7 points. Minnesota team total under 100.5. When I found out that Desmond Bane got rolled out, they scored 104 points. They let Jared Jackson Jr. Houston lets Jared Jackson Jr. absolutely go crazy, specifically in that third quarter. I want to say he scored like 14 points in the third quarter alone. And they scored 37 points in the third quarter overall, and then they come back and only end up with like 23 in the fourth. So we lose that one by 2 buckets. Jaden Ivey by 2 buckets. And Clint Capella goes into the fourth quarter with 10 rebounds, have him at 10.5. Probably should have took the double-double like Dream said yesterday, and we lose that one by the hook as well. So, like I said, the reads felt right, but, we just came up short. So looking to get it back here today as we, always try to do, man. Like I said, hit the like button for me as you guys join. We're going to jump right into it today, get through these 7 games, and get up out of here, man. So first game up, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. We got the Boston Celtics. So the Cavs just won. The Cavs almost won against Boston. It wasn't until that fourth quarter that the Celtics really started playing defense and taking that game a little bit more serious. I talked about not being able to lay the points with the Celtics in that spot because when you need a home favorite to win by double digits, for me it's difficult unless I can think of some kind of distinctive advantage. Right? Is the other team is it a revenge game or, is the other team super, I just need your motivation in that spot. And I couldn't find it for the Cavs. I couldn't find it for the Celtics, which is why I laid off. So now we see them open as a 9-point favorite. Injury report wise, I don't think we got an update yet, but I want to say Jaylen Brown is still questionable with an ankle injury. On the opposite side, Evan Mobley is going to remain out. For Boston, they do host Orlando tomorrow. So it's his first leg of a back-to-back, which makes this one a little bit more difficult than the last game. So they get Orlando. We got to remember the Boston Celtics have really struggled with Orlando. I'm not sure if they're gonna have the game circle tomorrow or not. But if you remember back to last year, Orlando beat them twice in a back-to-back series, which is exactly what's about to happen in this one as well. Orlando comes into Boston tomorrow, and then they play again on Sunday as well. So could potentially be a bit of a look ahead spot. With Jaylen Brown not being in, with this total coming down, because the total did go over. They scored 233 points last game. This total opened, that total was it closed at 227. Now you see this total come down to 225 right now. And I think, to me, that screams under. The first game barely went over, and that was with Cleveland pretty much making, any shot that they wanted to make. I think you see a little bit more concerted effort on the defensive end. I actually like this total to go under the 225.5. Some 225.5s out there. Also to support this, you guys know whenever I'm looking at these, these back-to-back games for these teams, I'm looking, it's always a trend that I'm looking at. So trend says that when two teams are playing each other within a 3-day time frame, in which the first game went under and the second game total is lower than the first game, those games are 41, 23, and 1 to the under. So 64% says that this game goes under. I haven't played it yet, but I am most likely going to play that. Stay off the props in this one. I think, if I'm Boston, I feel like you got to have a more concerted effort to slow down Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he literally kills you guys every time he comes into Boston. And you got a game tomorrow. So Boston first half makes a lot of sense. I know they didn't cover the last game. So Boston first half makes a lot of sense. I like taking first half spreads when I know that the team has a game tomorrow. Because for me, if you're a good team and Boston is a very good team, specifically in the first half, that's typically when you if you got a game tomorrow, you typically like to kind of coast, right? We saw that with Miami yesterday. Miami was able to get out to a nice lead. I'm pretty sure they won the first half, which I talked about on the show yesterday, but didn't bet it. And then, you can kind of, coast to a win. Miami didn't play their starters in the fourth quarter last night, so I think I like potentially Boston first half, but didn't quite get there on that. That number for the first half is, let me just give it to you guys real quick, and then I'll check the chat and we'll keep it moving. Boston first half -4.5 is the best number, -120. So just depending on how much juice you want to lay, because FanDuel got 5.5, and there's some fives out there as well. So 4.5, 5.5. You can just figure out how much juice you want to lay. It's also one of the reasons why. Shout out to OddsJam, like I always say. This is why you use the software to make sure you're getting the best number and whatever you feel comfortable laying. So Boston first half, if I had to play a side, but I think I like the total, and I like this one to go under the 225. Didn't bet it yet, haven't given it out, but if you can get a 225.5 right now on BetMGM at -115. So that's probably the way I'm gonna go in this one. I need to write the best number down because I haven't yet. But Boston first half for me, I'm sorry, Boston and Cleveland for a game under 225.5. I think Boston steps up defensively. Also, if Jaylen Brown doesn't play, that's a lot of points you'll be without as well. So Boston, Cleveland under 225.5. -115 on BetMGM would be the way that I'm looking there. All right, so none of that's out the way. Let's go to the chat, and then we'll kick it to the next game. I'll try to get through these pretty quickly. David said, I'm in here pre-gaming in the comments. Ben Mather hooked me on the parlay. I need that back. I'm with you. I need mine back from yesterday as well. Happy Thursday, my guy. Appreciate you for tapping in, David. Prolific says, everyone smash the like button, please, for my main man, Chris. Subscribe, join, and share. All of it, Prolific. I like it, man. Appreciate you for shouting that out. Navi says the same thing. Appreciate you for popping in again, Navi, as always. He says, what's up, Chris? Everyone hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Malik says, Utah Jazz, baby, with some money emojis. Okay, so we got some Jazz love. We'll get to that game. I got to play on that game as well. Kenneth says, what's up, King? Let's get to some cash. That's what we're here for. Shout out to Fair Elite. Appreciate you for being here as well. Raptors fan says, what up, Chris? What are your thoughts on what happened after the Bucks game yesterday? So I didn't see it, Raptors fan. I read it. I read about it this morning. Didn't go back and watch the video. But it sounds like it was literally like a miscommunication. It sounds like, Giannis wanted the game ball, but they thought that the Pacers had the game ball, but in all actuality, the Bucks had the game ball the whole time. So I guess I still got some more digging to do, but I didn't, go back and I don't care. I just think it creates a rivalry, which is good for basketball. I heard coaches putting hands on players, and players putting hands on. I don't know, man. I'm only here for the betting. I don't care what goes on after the game, and what people doing in their personal life. I try not to get into that stuff. I don't care who you dating, none of that, unless it influences betting. If it influences betting, I need to know all of it. I need all of it. I'm always trying to find the edge. Coop says, well, at least we have a look-ahead spot on New Year's Day for Giannis to get a new career high game ball. Yeah, I talked about it yesterday, man. I couldn't get there with Dame. I know the world was on Dame yesterday, and I done been on that side of the public action. Dame go out there, had 21 points. That's absolutely insane. Y'all think Dame took some money last night from the books, to not go out there and score? Or do y'all think it was just as simple as we talked about Giannis getting what he wants in the paint, and that team allows the most points in the paint where Giannis likes to score a lot of his points? So I'm not sure what it was, man. What's up, Pude? Coop says if JB sits, it might be a look ahead for Boston. I agree. Or that ankle could just be hurting, Coop. It could just be hurting. EQ says he's leaning cash plus the 9 and under 225. I would agree. I think the cash can keep it close. I also think the under is the best play in the game. I'm probably gonna get there with the 225.5. Just haven't placed the bet yet. We'll let you guys know though. Hobby says he cashed Jabari over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists last night, and a double-double. and Cam Thomas points last night. Shout out to you, Hobby. When the whole world went Mikal Bridges, you went Cam Thomas. When the whole world went Dame, I know somebody had to go Giannis yesterday. It wasn't me. Malik said, "Are there any stats on a big team on a team being this far into the season and finally being a favorite? Blazers are the favorite against the Jazz for the first time this season. I'll be courtside tonight. Hey, enjoy the game, Malik. You're gonna watch a lot of bench players for the Jazz, but enjoy the game, man. Hopefully, Colin Sexton put on a show for you. Him and Fontecchio put on a show for you tonight, man. We'll see how it goes." I don't know if you can find stats on that, Malik. I'm not 100% sure, man. I don't think I know how to query any of that. Hobby says Bobby Portis, 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists, cash for him as well. They were the last team in the NBA this season to be favorite. Yeah, I think they're favored for a reason. We're gonna talk to that game. What's up, Uncut? Oh, Malik is Uncut. I keep forgetting you got two profiles. What's up, LJ? He says, "What up, Chris? Did you cash that Rockets under first half?" I didn't, LJ. So I cashed. I didn't cash anything with the Rockets last night. I only took the team total under. Should have just got there with the spread. Well, I did get there with the spread. I didn't give it out as an official play. I did cash Rockets minus 8.5 last night. I talked about it on the show, but I thought the number was gonna move too fast. I don't like sending plays out to my members when the number is like actively moving. Like if Tatum gets ruled out right now, I'm not gonna send out, Cavs plus the points because everybody not gonna be able to put it in. It don't feel like it's like an official play. It's like one of those like quick plays. So it's gonna be my money if I play it. It's just more of a personal play. But I did not get there. Shout out to you though, LJ. That was easy. That was the easiest. I think they had like 80 points at halftime. The Memphis Grizzlies did. So I know you cashed that under 102. Yeah, they had like 20 and 20 in the first two quarters. Thankful Thursdays. Let's eat, Franklin. You're right. Coop says that game got chippy. Love the new rivalry between the Pacers and the Bucks. That's how I feel about it, Coop. David says Pacer Bucks is influence now. James Johnson just got signed by the Pacers. They've been in the box doing the warm-ups. If you know anything about James Johnson, man, I think he's a black belt. And I don't know what he's gonna do about stopping Giannis from getting to the rim, but if Giannis scores 64 on me, I'd be trying to hire somebody too. Maybe trade for somebody like I'd probably try to get Tristan Thompson or somebody. Y'all need somebody outside of Miles Turner, man. Something got to give. Something got to give there for sure. Pacers give up points in the key nonstop. Yeah, I talked about it. I've been talking about it for 2 weeks now. Burns says the entire world is on Portland. I may stay off. We'll talk about that game in a second. L Boogie says, Chris, did you see Reeves love after his performance in Vegas? No, I did not. What up, My guy? What's going on, my brother? We got to get an NFL show in, for the weekend, bro. Hit me up. Let me know when we're going to do that. Let's get into the rest of the games. I'm trying not to go through the comment section for too long. So Bulls and the Heat is the next game. We know that Chicago is actually getting hot right now. We talked about this the other day. This team is what, 5-0? 5-0. Did they win the other day? Hold on. Let me check the spot real quick. I gotta make sure I get this right for you guys. I gotta look that I'm looking at this game, but I haven't placed anything yet. So the Bulls are coming off the game against the Denver Nuggets. They did lose that game. They almost covered the spread. They ended up losing by 8. That was the game that Jokic got thrown out of. They were 6.5 point favorites. They were also on the second leg of a back-to-back, and they had went to overtime. So not the greatest spot. I know this number did move. It moved from 6.5 or from 5.5 down to 4 now. I know the Heat are on the second leg of a back-to-back as well. But they beat the Charlotte Hornets pretty easily yesterday. They didn't have to exert too much energy or effort in that game at all. You go back and just look, at the box scores. Jimmy Butler didn't even touch 30 minutes. Kyle Lowry only played 24 minutes. And like I said, these starters, they didn't have to play big minutes yesterday. They didn't have to play big minutes because this game was kind of out of hand. Caleb Martin played 36 minutes. He's kind of freshly back. But when you get Jacquez Jr. out there playing 33 minutes, that's great because he's a rookie. He can do that. Kevin Love only played 20 minutes. So to me, what that tells me, because they didn't have to play that many minutes, I think Miami first half is probably another good look in this game. I gave you guys the numbers the other day. I want to say it's something like 15, 6, and 1 to the number in the first half. And I think if the Heat are going to run out of gas in this spot, it's probably going to be in the second half, not in the first half. But I don't think, even though the Bulls got a extra day of rest and they're not coming off the back to back, this is still the third game in 4 nights for Chicago, and they had the overtime game in Milwaukee the other night. So I don't like the Bulls as much in this spot. Now, have they been playing a little bit better? Absolutely. Could Kobe White go crazy in this game because the Heat give up a bunch of threes? Absolutely, he could. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now. I was watching that game like a hawk. That's the game that we cashed on DeMar DeRozan to go under his 24.5 points the other day. And Kobe White is shooting the ball. Like, he is really confident. He pulling up from like Dame and Steph range and Trey Young range. I saw him shoot a three-pointer from like 5 feet behind the three-point line. So I don't have, I'm not too strong on the side in this game. I think it could go either way, as indicative by the 4-point spread. But I do think that I think either could happen. I think that even though Levine has not been there, Chicago, at least from what I'm looking at, they've still really struggled at the beginning of the games. This team is not good in the first half against the number. Matter of fact, Chicago is 2-9 against the spread in the first half in road games. Even in their last 5 games, they're 0-5 against the spread in the last 5. So I think if you want to play Miami, who's a much better team, specifically at home and overall, Miami is probably the play in the first half in this game. Last 5 games, Miami is, get you guys the number. Miami is just 2-2 in the first half. I thought I saw something bigger than that. Overall, Miami is 16, 6-2 against the spread in the first half. And like I said, this kind of like, logically it makes sense that they're gonna fade, it's gonna be in the second half. So I like Miami early in this game. I think that they have the potential to win the game. And that's the way I would play it. Miami is still down a couple starters in this one, of course, with no Bam Adebayo being there. But those are my thoughts on the game. The best number right now I see for Miami in the first half is, because if I'm playing the game, that's the one play I like the most. Miami -1.5. You can get a -1.5 on a couple different books. I see FanDuel got it at -120, little juice. Bet Rivers -118, and Unibet -118. Bet MGM got a -130, and then the other books got 2s. I see 2.5. So definitely get the best number, but I think Miami can have the lead by a basket before halftime. Just Chicago starting off pretty slow. And like I said, they also in a bad travel spot. So those are my thoughts. Couldn't talk anybody else. Kobe White in this spot. I think, could be a big game for those guys. Coop says Pacers need OG from Raptors. He would make them a contender. Yeah, I don't know how much he would help. To me, he's like Neesmith a little bit though, Coop. He's a better defender than Neesmith, but Neesmith is a pretty good defender. I think they need a big. I think you need a big. You don't have any rim protection. Miles Turner is not, the greatest rim protection. And when you take him out the game, you got a little Isaiah Jackson. Isaiah Jackson like 6'7". They got to get a big man. I think, like I said, Tristan Thompson would be really, really good for them. He can't shoot the 3, but he'd be really, really good for them. Wouldn't stretch the floor as much. Avery likes the Heat -4. He said this is the play. Like the spot, even on the back-to-back, Jimmy and Kyle only played 26 minutes. This is what I said. He said the young dudes closed out the game for them last night. I think they carry that momentum into this game. I think so as well, Avery. I don't want to fade the Bulls because they're hot right now. So I stay off the full game. But Miami has been pretty consistent with getting these leads and then kind of pissing them away late. They didn't do it last night against Charlotte, but that's what they've been doing. So I like that look, Avery. I like that a lot. Avery also says Chicago is a very trendy dog as well. I agree there. JS says she's going back to Kobe White over his 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Could not talk you off there. That's not. You didn't miss much. I talked about the Cavs and the Clippers in the Celtic game and kind of liking the under more than anything else. 225.5 is the best number I saw. Probably going to end up riding that, but haven't placed it yet. What's up, Justin? Appreciate you for tapping in. JT, my guy. I Need Money says Jaime Jaquez Jr. has been getting busy lately. He has. He really, really has. Estai says, there you go, Chris. Miami first half and full game is the way. Larry, Caleb, and Jaime and Love over their points. He like all of it. Okay, Estai coming in here with the big Heat love today. EQ says the Heat play good defense, but Kobe White been balling. I would agree there. Let's see. OJ says I gave you a worse. I give you a worse number for the Bulls. They're 1-14 against the spread in the first half in the last 15 games, and that's what I mean. For some reason, they start slow. This does have nothing to do with Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine. They just start the game slow, and it could be kind of correlated with DeRozan. For people who watch the Bulls play, I've been watching them play the last couple games. For people who watching the Bulls play, DeRozan don't really get going until after halftime. It's almost like he tries to let everybody else get going, and then he'll pick it up and kind of be the closer. And that could, if they're not making shots, it kind of makes sense. When you got Patrick Williams out there building brick houses, and Caruso shot not falling in, it makes a lot of sense. Io DeSumo not playing really, really well. I could see it. EQ says -4 is kind of disrespectful for the Heat against the Bulls. That's got some momentum, but nothing special in my opinion. What's up, Thug and D? Appreciate you as well. Navi likes Kobe White threes. And do we have anything else on that? VC says Giannis wanted that game ball. He definitely did. I mean, it makes sense. 64 points is a lot of points. Probably wanted to put that up in this, in this award room or something. All right, let's keep going. Jump back into it. Next game up, we got Timberwolves and we got Mavericks. So this one, the only reason I haven't given out a play because I low key just want, I really, really want to make sure I got the injury report on this one. But we got the Timberwolves and we have the Mavericks. This game will be played in Dallas. We know both of these teams could potentially be shorthanded. The Dallas Mavericks will be shorthanded because Luka is in a walking boot. I'm sorry, not Luka. I'm sorry. Kyrie is in a walking boot. Josh Green also remains out. We also see Seth Curry get ruled out earlier. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a toss up to play. He's likely to play. And then Derrick Jones Jr. also game time decision. So you got Dante Exum, who's been hooping, Grant Williams, who hit a bunch of threes the other day against the Lakers, Derek Lively, and Luka Doncic, who Luka gotta be, he can't be 100%. This dude either, his ankle or his head. I feel like he's always taking all these shots. On the opposite side, though, for Minnesota, and this is the big thing, if these guys get ruled in, this line will flip to Minnesota being the favorite. And it'd probably be, I think that it would flip probably 2 points. If Anthony Edwards gets ruled in and Jaden McDaniels get ruled in. Both of those guys are questionable. With Jaden McDaniels, I want to say it is an ankle injury. And then, of course, it's an ankle injury for Jaden McDaniels. And it's the same hip injury that kept, Anthony Edwards out of that game against the New Orleans Pelicans. I think that you guys know I like the defensive teams. So I like the Timberwolves in this spot. I want Jaden McDaniels in because Luka is a bad, bad boy. He's a bad, bad man. And I do think that there's potential that if they don't have Jaden McDaniels, Luka could have another one of those games where he goes for potentially 40 points and get some help from Dante Exum. But if Jaden McDaniels is in, as soon as Jaden McDaniels is in, I'm live betting this game, whether Anthony Edwards plays or not. I just need Jaden McDaniels to be in because I think they got enough with Karl Anthony Towns and Mike Conley and, those guys coming off the bench. You still got Slow-Mo in there. I think Derek Lively, is going to struggle with Rudy Gobert tonight. It's not going to be a lot of rim runs and alley-oops being thrown. These two teams also played. Remember, we bet that we made money off this game when they played in Abu Dhabi before the season started. For the people that's really been rocking with me before the season started, they played in Abu Dhabi twice, and Minnesota got the best of them both times. So I think it could just be potentially a bad matchup. Kyrie didn't play in those games because he was hurt, and here you don't have him as well. So I think Minnesota, especially coming off a loss, being the better team, to me, I like Minnesota in this spot. I know they're on the road, but I like Minnesota in this spot a lot. I'm going to try to wait until the news comes out and it's official, and we probably won't get that news while we're on the show because this game doesn't start until 8:30, and then I'll be taking the Timberwolves. I do like the Timberwolves in this spot tonight. No player props. I just like the Timberwolves on the money line. Let me see what y'all talking about here. Thug and D says he likes good Gobert double-double tonight. What's up, SK? JS, shouting out LJ. He says, appreciate that first half under yesterday. He cashed with you, LJ. Uncut says Giannis took 37 free throws, more than the whole Pacers team. He didn't deserve that game ball. Munov says Luka has played 13 career games versus the Wolves and scored 30 plus just once. That's some crazy news on Luka. That's actually insane, And if Jaden McDaniels is playing tonight, I like him to go under again. I actually think Dante Exum goes under. I think the full game goes under. This total, I think, was 230 when I looked at it last. 230, yeah, 230. And I think this total could go under. I think the Timberwolves probably going to be a little fired up after losing that game against the Pelicans the other day. I like betting on defensive teams, especially when they're on the road, and I know that they got a little bit more to play for. Off a loss, I'd rather have the Timberwolves off a loss than off a win. So I like the Timberwolves today. Like I said, I'm gonna wait. I do want Jaden McDaniels to be in there so he can helm, Luka Doncic. The same way I talked about the other day. As soon as Jared Vanderbilt got ruled out, I knew the Lakers didn't stand a chance. I knew they didn't stand a chance. Taurean Prince is a good defender. He can't guard Kyrie. Cannot guard Kyrie. Giving up a little too much weight. You need a little bit more potatoes. A little bit more meat and potatoes for Taurean Prince if you're gonna try to guard Luka. Shadow says I like town points on this one. Scoring bigs have destroyed the Mavs lately. Jared Jackson Jr. had 43. Anthony Davis 37. I think it's a good matchup for him. Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Munaf likes Rudy Gobert over his 12.5 rebounds. That correlates to them playing defense. I could not talk you off of that spot either. Paul says Luka got to be tired too with that new baby. That's a fact. Little girl being born. Pretty sure she's keeping him up at night. Luka built different though. You know how like Bron didn't miss any games for a long time in his career. To me, it kind of feels like Luka is like that too. Kind of robotic. Like doesn't matter if they get hurt. None of that seems to matter. Chase says I agree with you on McDaniels. I also think Cat could have a good game points wise. Your thought? Yeah, this is what I would do though, Chase. I would wait on the Cat news to see if Anthony Edwards is going to play. Of course, the number's going to go up if Anthony Edwards does play, but the number is going to come down if Anthony Edwards doesn't play. And then maybe you get a better number on Cat because Cat could have a better game of the two, especially if Anthony Edwards isn't going to be 100%. We know he came back in that last game, only played like 4 or 5, played less than 5 minutes. So yeah, I think you get a better number there. Case and Wallace over 6.5 points. I haven't gotten to that game, Young Sav. We'll see when I get there. Give me 1 second. Let me shut my door. Oh man, son downstairs playing. All right, so howling with the Wolves. Coops like the Wolves as well. Brandon says I like Naz Reid over his points. Could have his way against the Mavs bench. I agree with that, Brandon. He has played better at home than he has on the road, but I could not talk you off of that look either. DeRozan over his assist today. We got some love there. Dallas is bottom 5 in opposing team points in the paint. Yeah, I mean, outside of Lively, they don't have a big man that can really stop anybody. Alex says I'm on Minnesota, probably going to live bet him. All right, cool. No, I like it. I like it a lot. Let's keep going. Next game up, we got Nets. We got Nuggets. This game is going to be played in Denver. Denver, first game back home after a 3-game road trip. They went to Atlanta. They went to Chicago, and might have been 2-game road trip. I forgot who the other team was. But here we get you're going to get a disrespectful line, especially when a team is on the second leg of a back-to-back. It's also a third game in 4 nights for the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn has been the best ATS team. They went into Phoenix yesterday, even with them. I wouldn't say having a full roster, but they had their big 3, and they won that game outright as a 4.5-point dog yesterday. The 7-3 against the spread on the road as well. Denver, last time they were at home, they lost outright as a 10-point favorite. Something like tonight, they were playing against the Houston Rockets, so now they're 9-1 straight up at the crib. They are only 5-5. They haven't been able to cover a lot of spreads. For this one, KCP will be out with a concussion. So a couple different things I looked at in this one because I wanted to get there with Denver, but I don't know if I can lay 10. 10 a big number. I don't really like taking too many 10-point favorites unless I'm fading the Wizards or I'm fading the Pistons. Those two teams can lose by 20. Feels like every single game, no matter who they play against. So I think the game last night meant more to the Brooklyn Nets, of course, because you had Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, going back to Phoenix, the organization that traded them away. So a couple different ways I was looking at it. So first thing I looked at was non-conference teams playing on the second leg of a back-to-back that won outright as a dog in their previous game, and then they get 9 points. So they expected to get blown out in the next game. Those teams are 9-73 against the spread, 9-73 straight up, 35, 45, and 2 against the spread. 11 of the last 14 teams that they faced their opponents have actually cleared their team total. So that tells me Denver over 120 should be the play in this spot. I looked at the Nets when they're on the second leg of a back-to-back. They're 2-0 to the over on second leg of back-to-back games. They gave up 124 to Boston, which is a comparable opponent. And then I think the other game was like against Chicago when they had Levine and they couldn't score 100 points. So that, you kind of throw that one away. They're also giving up an average of 120 points per game when they're road dogs in 9 games this season. However, here's the conflicting trend. I looked at Denver when they're coming back home off of a non-conference game when they played at least 2 games in a row. So Denver coming back home off a road trip over the last year, because this team is very similar to the one last year. Denver is 4-1 to the under when returning home after at least 2-game non-conference road trip. And they've limited their opponents to just 104 points per game in this spot while scoring just 113. So do we think Denver is going to jump out in this spot early, or do we think it'll be Brooklyn that slows down and not able to score in the second half? We know Denver has been one of the better first half teams in the league. I looked at Brooklyn. They really struggled in the first half. Denver has a plus 13.8 first half net rating at home, which is higher than their plus I think 9 or plus 8 overall net rating at the crib. Brooklyn, on the opposite side, they're minus 6.1 net rating when they're in the first half on the road. So while Brooklyn plays well at home, they really struggle on the road. I think Denver first half. I typically like to fade the team as the game goes on, so it should be Denver for a game. I just don't know. I think I'd rather chop the spread in half and say that Denver's going to be winning this game at halftime. By at least 3 possessions, I guess I would say. So Denver right now, minus 4.5 numbers available on BetMGM. It looks like only there's some 5s out there, some 5.5s as well. But that would be my top play in this game. I think Denver, they've kind of struggled with focus in this one. We see Strother playing a lot better recently, and their bench is getting contribution. You're getting contributions defensively from guys like Watson, DeAndre Jordan stepping in playing well. Also, Jokic got thrown out of that game the other day against Chicago, so he's probably could be a little added motivation for him to come out here, especially being back home. They were able to win that game. Denver is on a 2-game winning streak, but I got a feeling that they probably want to get right in front of their home crowd tonight, being that they got smoked by the Houston Rockets in their last home game before they started this road trip. So those are my thoughts. I think if I had to play anything from a prop perspective, it'd probably be Jokic rebounds and assists. We know that he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. We know that, Brooklyn is not the greatest rebounder team outside of Nicholas Claxton. So that's the way I'd be looking. And, that there is the possibility that the Nets could run out of gas in this one, especially being on the second leg of a back-to-back 3rd game in 4 nights and having to play in altitude. And you just won as a dog. So those are my thoughts. Let's go through some of these comments real quick. Real DJX says he likes Mavericks in the first quarter. Appreciate you for tapping in. Easy money. Call me DB says he likes the first half over 113.5. Coop says he likes Michael Porter Jr. over his points prop at 16.5 tonight. SK also likes Michael Porter Jr. He says over 2.5 threes in 3 career games versus the Nets, excluding one where he played just 4 minutes. He's had 6, 3, and 5. Nets top 5 for giving up threes to small forwards. They also first and for point guards. So like Jamal Murray too. KCP is out. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Somebody gonna have to step up for KCP not being there. Justin says, I mean, that's regular folks might not do this, but rich folks usually have a nanny around for stuff like that. A lot of people with careers have them come overnight so the parents get rest at home. I agree, Justin, to a certain extent. I think sometimes people want it to be a little more intimate. Like they don't want, people in their personal business all the time. So, like a lot of people don't necessarily want to have other people. They just want to kind of thug it out and do it themselves so they can get that organic experience of, really parenting, getting up and, making that bottle at 3:00 in the morning and, changing that diaper and, burping your baby, like all that good stuff. I remember. I'm trying to go through it again. Call me D says, no D here for the Nets. 3rd game in 4 nights, but traveling back-to-back to Denver. Yeah, I think, like I said, Denver first half, minus 4.5, and Denver team total over 121.5, I think was the number, would be my top looks if I was going to play this game. May just wait, see what happens. But when I was checking the pace, both of these teams are not top 10 in pace. They're not even top 15 in pace. Denver's actually playing at the fifth slowest pace. Brooklyn like 18th in pace. So Brooklyn could potentially struggle to score if Denver turns up in this spot, defends the 3-point line well, and the altitude gets to them. So 119.5 is Denver's team total. I gave you guys 120. It is 120 at most books, but 119.5 if you guys have access to Bet365. I think that could potentially be the number. Shadow likes Jokic over his 23.5 rebounds as well. He said might be a blowout, but I think Joker covers this in 3 quarters. I see the Nets double teaming him, and they're too small to play him one-on-one. I would agree there. I would agree. He could give Nick Claxton nightmares tonight. Navi says he's going to parlay Nuggets money line and Murray for 3 threes. I can see that as well. Munaf, my guy Munaf, not on the assist tonight, which he typically likes Jokic over his rebounds and assists. He likes the rebound straight at 12.5. Also like this number also for Jokic tonight. We were cashing on Jokic rebounds religiously for a nice little stretch at the beginning of the season. If you think they're going to play defense, I think it's a good spot to target Jokic rebounds tonight. Malik says favorites have been smacking. The night slate, 2 dogs, 1 outright. I expect the dogs to come barking soon. I can see that. What up, Will? He says, what up, Chris? Positive vibes. I like Dinwiddie over 6.5 at -120. He had 11 and 16 last year against them. Nuggets have given up 8 or more assists to 3 of 5 guards whose teams are top 10 in 3-point attempts so far this season, and no KCP. Okay. Best of luck tonight, Will. Malik says, let's get it today. You already know I'm on that Bulls team total under. The Heat defense not good enough for me to take that team total under, Malik, but we'll see, man. Best of luck to you, my brother. LJ says that great stat, Chris. Nets on back-to-back after laying 10 points. After winning laying 10 points, let's track that trend for the season. I'll mark that down and keep up with that one, LJ. Zoned Up says, make sure you guys hit the like button for me. I appreciate you for shouting that out. Fahrenheit also says the same thing. He says, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Appreciate you, Fahrenheit, for tapping in. Fahrenheit is on Jokic. He likes his rebounds over 13.5, -106 on FanDuel. He's 17 for 20. He had 17 and 20 rebounds in his last 2 games versus the Nets. This is probably why Munaf liked the rebounds. That I'm pretty sure Munaf saw that number. Jokic over his rebounds. I'm gonna write that one down. I hadn't thought about that one. Jokic over his rebounds tonight. I was thinking rebounds and assists, and like I said, didn't play it. But Jokic over his rebounds with a number like this, it's hard for me to fade it. Appreciate you for sharing that look, Fahrenheit. Let me see what I can get the best number at for you guys real quick for people who have access. Let's see what we can get Jokic rebounds at, and then we'll move on to the next game. So rebounds for Jokic tonight looks like the best number available is 12.5 -134 on FanDuel. 13.5 on Bet Rivers at plus money. And yeah, they're juiced now. So yeah, it's a good prop. Definitely a good prop. I like that number. I like that a lot. BC likes the Nuggets -9. Called me DB says Denver pace miscue due to Murray being out so much. I think I would agree there. I think I would agree. What do you think of Spencer Dinwiddie over his assist at 7.5? I don't like it as much in this spot. Just because they could run out of gas. Don't let me talk you off though. Markel says, what up, my dude? I'm on OKC first half, Clips first quarter, and heavy lean towards the Nuggets in the first half. Yeah, we're lying there, Markel. I like the Nuggets in the first half. Vaughn says, take a look at Gobert rebounds on StatMuse versus the Mavs. I'll have to look into that. And then S. says parlay. He parlayed the Heat money line with the Wolves money line, the Clippers money line, and the Blazers money line at plus 601 tonight. So Paul likes the parlay. That's a little too much for me, S. But best of luck, my brother. I definitely hope you cash it. Let's keep going because we got a couple more games to get to. Try to get through these ones pretty quick. So Thunder and Kings, man, I'm like so torn between this game. I really want to back the Thunder in this spot. I think the Thunder are a better team than the Kings. That's just my personal opinion based on watching them. But for some reason, the Kings play the Thunder really, really close. And as you guys can tell by the spread, this game is predicted to be really, really close. Thunder 15-7 on the season. They're 7-3 on the road, one of the best road teams. that's straight up and against the spread. But Sacramento plays their best basketball at home, and they're coming off a loss. They're 13-9 straight up, but 7-3 at home as well. So both of these teams 7-3 in that spot. They're 5-5 against the spread. You see this total go up from 241 is what it opened at, up to 244.5. And I think I agree with the total. I know that OKC is the better defensive team, but for some reason the Kings beat the Oklahoma City Thunder without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander earlier this season. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I was on the Thunder in that spot. Not sure how they lose to the Kings without De'Aaron Fox in that spot. So for whatever reason, 9-1 are the Kings in the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Couldn't really get there with the over on the total just because these teams went under in the last spot, and the Kings actually played defense without De'Aaron Fox. So I guess this one, I guess I still probably take the over. Neither one of these teams play tomorrow. OKC doesn't play again until they play Denver, and that won't be until Saturday. And Sacramento, they don't play again until Saturday. They play Utah. So no big look ahead spot, at least not for Sacramento. I think I like backing Sacramento off losses. OKC is the more rested team. I want to say they haven't played. They have 2 days off of rest in this spot, where at Sacramento they only have 1 day off of rest, and this is the third game in 4 nights for them as well. So all of those things make me want to lean more towards OKC. Like I said, I think they are the better team. They will get Lou Dort back in this spot as well. He's not on the injury report. But I didn't play it. I didn't play this one. I do lean towards OKC. I'd be taking the points if I was playing this one because I think they are the better team. Just don't want to face Sacramento on the second, after a loss, especially being back at the crib. I have seen this team turn up, and I think that they could in this spot. So lean Thunder. Didn't play the game. Let's see what you guys are on here. Young Thad makes an excellent point. He says Nurkic just had 22 rebounds versus Nets team. And that was on the second leg of a back-to-back for him. So yeah, I think I like potentially taking that 13.5 rebounds for. I don't want to lay the juice. Like minus 134 is a little too far out of my price range. I like to play everything for a unit, and I'm always having to risk 1.5 units to win a unit. So I probably just play the 13.5 or put it up just a little bit. Coop says leaning Keegan Murray over 6.5 rebounds, has good history versus Oklahoma City, but Mike Brown is using him as an on-ball defender this year, which could hurt his chances for getting some of those rebounds guarding SGA. Excellent points. I love the breakdown there. Like how you're looking at that, Coop. I would agree with that as well. Avery likes the Kings minus 1.5. He says, I love the Kings in this spot. OKC will be another trendy dog. A lot of people betting them and the line moving in the Kings' direction. Very interesting. Last time these two teams played, Fox. Last time these two teams played, Fox. Oh, it's another message. I'm slow. Fox didn't play. It's 2 messages. Didn't play, and the Kings still found a way to win. The Kings own this team, won the last 7 meetings. I expect them to bounce back after getting smoked by the Clippers on Tuesday. Clippers are a really good defensive team. We're about to talk about them in a second. Avery says, I expect a shootout. I expect them to shoot the ball way better than they did on Tuesday. I look for Monk in the second group. So he likes to have a great game. Okay. Hey, appreciate you for typing all that, Avery. You just gave a whole 6-page paragraph there, my brother. I hope you catch the play. BC's on the opposite side. He likes OKC on the money line. And then Bet on JC likes Fox under 30.5 points. Thoughts? I'm not going to give you my thoughts on that, JC, because I would need to look at it a little bit more. I haven't really looked at it in too much detail. So Jaylen Brown, game time decision. Did we get any other injury information while I wasn't paying attention? I don't think that we did. So just Jaylen Brown. Yeah, I think Jaylen Brown. I don't think Jaylen Brown will play. I could be wrong. Not betting the game, but do think that he could not play. All right, let's keep going. Next game up, we have I'm going to try to get through these quick. The Jazz and the Blazers are the next game. You got the Blazers. Somebody mentioned this early in the chat. This is the first time that the Blazers are laying points. 3.5 it was the number. I want to say it's up to, let's see, this is up to 4.5 now. And I did just take, right before the show started, I took the 3.5 with the Portland Trail Blazers in this spot. I mean, you guys, I talked about it yesterday. I said, don't be surprised if the Jazz start doing that thing that they do at home, where they end up winning the game, even though they're not supposed to win, and their dogs are like 6.5 points. And it came true yesterday. On the opposite side, I always talk about this when I'm talking about, specifically about the Utah Jazz. It's Magic Powers at home, not so much on the road. And if you guys didn't know, injury report came out. They will be without Keontae George. They'll be without Lauri Markkanen, who made his return yesterday, not wanting to risk injury with him and that hamstring. They'll also be without Jordan Clarkson in this spot. So a lot of injuries in this spot. And they already just struggle on the road. They're 1-11 straight up on the road. Now you're just asking the Portland Trailblazers to beat them by 2 possessions. The Portland Trailblazers also could get some reinforcements in this game because for people who don't know, John Collins also got ruled out with an illness as well. So it almost seems like they're just throwing this game. So now you're without your starting power forward. You're without your starting other power forward, or you could say center. You're starting point guard, and you're without Jordan Clarkson, who's probably the second leading scorer on this team. Jeremy Grant will miss this game on the opposite side. DeAndre Ayton and Malcolm Brogdon are listed as questionable, and we probably won't know if they're going to play or not. I like them in this spot, whether those guys are going to play or not. I think they got enough. Because one thing about Portland, we back Portland in a couple spots. They play defense, unless they're playing against the Clippers where they got smoked the other day. But they play defense, and I don't see a lot of offense on the opposite side of the ball. Even though I do want to talk about one guy on the Utah Jazz that has a lot of potential in this spot tonight. So guys like Anthony Simons, they got Anthony Simons back. He just had a 38 ball the other day. They're a much more rested team, not on the second leg of a back-to-back. You got Shaedon Sharpe out there, and then you got a bunch of defenders. Reef, I think is how you pronounce his name. Kamara, Matisse Thybulle, like they have, some pretty solid defenders. So either way, I think that they win the game. I don't care how much money is on them. I think they're favorites here in this spot for a reason, and it's the first time that they've been favorite. And if you tell me I can fade the Jazz and only got to lay, 2 possessions, I'm gonna do it every single chance that I get. So I like Portland in this spot. I did play them minus the 3.5 as soon as the news came out. I initially was already leaning Portland when this line was 1.5. The reason why I didn't play is because I wanted to see how the line would move based on who was going to play, who wasn't going to play. But I honestly think that if Brogdon and Ayton get ruled in, they probably win this game by double digits. It's also a revenge game. For people who remember, about 3 Saturdays ago, I gave out Portland. I gave out Utah team total under, and Utah did not. That game ended up going to overtime. I think we took like 109.5 to under. The game was played in Utah. This will be the 4th matchup between these two teams. And I want to say Utah has won twice, and Portland won the first matchup of the season. They smoked Utah when they did it, and I think that they do it again in this spot. That game ended up going to overtime, so we ended up losing the bet. But something tells me Portland wants to get their revenge tonight and, probably win as the first time as a favorite. So I like Portland in this spot. I would still play it at 4.5. I think they could potentially win this game by 6 or 7 points as long as they come in, extremely focused and locked in. And they should be. Coach Chauncey Billups is doing a pretty good job. They have lost 4 in a row, so that's even more motivation for them to try to get a win and get off the snide. They haven't won a game since we backed them back on November the 30th against the Cavs when we took them plus, I think we had them 12.5, and they won that game outright by 8 points. So I like them a lot in this spot tonight, and I did play Portland minus the 3.5 in this spot. On the opposite side, the player prop that I was telling you guys about, and this line may have moved already. I didn't play it, probably should have, but I like Colin Sexton. I think you gotta like Colin Sexton in this spot. Colin Sexton, very advantageous spot, and it's for all the reasons that I just mentioned. For one, yesterday it was his first game starting, not of his career, first game starting of the season was yesterday. He scored 26 points. That was against a defense in the New York Knicks that really just couldn't stop him yesterday. This is more so volume play for me. No Lauri Markkanen, no Keontae George, no Jordan Clarkson. I mean, he's literally going to be out there with Fontecchio and Abaji. So I think Colin Sexton, just off volume alone, gets the shot attempts up, and I think he probably goes over these 21.5 points. I don't want to make 2 bets in the same game, but I do like Colin Sexton. I think this could potentially be a ladder spot for Colin Sexton. 25 points, 30 points for Colin Sexton. The only reason I wouldn't get there with those is just because Portland doesn't play fast enough, and I think that they are the better defensive team. So it could be one of those games where nobody else really does anything, and they just get smoked, and then he's sitting on the bench in the 4th quarter, especially on the second leg of a back-to-back. So, but I do like the 21.5. It opened at 21.5 when those guys got ruled out. I think it quickly got went up to to 22.5, but it might still be a 21.5 out there. Let me check real quick and see if I can find it, and then I'll go to the comments and we'll keep it moving. Colin Sexton, 22.5 minus 105 on FanDuel. It was 21.5. But I think if you take the 22.5, you might as well take 25, honestly. Like I said, he had 26 yesterday, and that was with Lauri Markkanen. So now it's no Lauri Markkanen. Now it's no Keontae George. Now it's still no Clarkson. So I like Colin Sexton a lot in this spot. All right, go back to the comments, then we get into the last game. Next game up, we have, comments real quick. We got I didn't look into too much into the game tonight, and I know I'm not laying points with the Raiders though. I'll tell you that. That's what I'm not doing. Shadow says Anthony Simons points he likes. He said he's been shooting a lot since he came back. Good matchup here. I could not talk you off. Malik says, man, I'm watching that Jazz Knicks game. All I hear is Chris saying, I can't fade the Jazz. Hey, when you lose your money to the Utah Jazz, and I told you it was going to be Colin Sexton, somebody like Fontecchio out there just getting buckets, like can't be stopped. Tyler Horton Tucker, man, don't get me started. But yeah, I'm watching the game thinking to myself, glad I kept my money in my pocket. I know the Knicks are a better team. It don't matter sometimes. Scotty says Colin Sexton cooked the Blazers last time they played. Yeah, it could be a Colin Sexton night. JC's, I like Portland. The home team has won every game in the series. That's another good point, JC. I don't think I looked into that, but it makes sense. It makes sense a lot. It makes a lot of sense. Fahrenheit likes Anthony Simons in this spot. He says over 26.5 points, minus 114 on FanDuel with no Grant. Simons is 3 for 3 to the line without Grant. Bia and Simons have the same. Oh, okay. Now I like this. I like that. Good analysis on that, Fahrenheit. Vaughn says, what do you think about the Jazz team total under 110? Only way I would play it, Vaughn. 110 points? Who's scoring them? Who's scoring them tonight? Portland could come in here and lock them down, man. They could absolutely lock them down. I hadn't even looked into that angle. But Jazz team total under, I think, is a really good spot as well, Vaughn. I would like, Aiden and Grant to Aiden and Brogdon to be in because they are pretty good defenders. Bonjour to you as well, Tactic. SK says Chris Dunn a look. He had 10 points in 18 minutes last night. Interesting to see what his line will be. Yeah, if his lines even become available, SK, he's going to definitely be out there. Chris Dunn can mix it up a little bit. I like him a lot. Coop says he likes Scoot assists if Brogdon doesn't play. Navi endorses the Colin Sexton as well. Jeremiah, going back to the first game, he says Drew Holiday points, rebounds, assists, 23.5. Question mark. Should get there if JB is out, but he's a game time decision. Yeah, that's why I can't give you any, clear, concise evidence on that, Jeremiah. I will tell you that, somebody talked about him in the other game. It's been, what's my guy name with no hair? Derek White. Derek White's been the one that's been hooping. Feels like the markets haven't really caught up to Derek White. He's been the guy that's been balling for them. 77 figures says going back to the well with the Blazers -3. Top play for him. And cool. That's it right there. Take the Jazz at the crib, man. If they're catching points, you just take them. Give me y'all free game. Give me y'all the game, man. It don't matter who they got playing. And then Yamik says he likes Portland, Nuggets, Celtics money line. So 3-leg parlay there. I couldn't talk you off any of those. I like those as well. No money line parlay for me, but I do like those three tonight. I will say this. If you don't think Portland covers the spread, there's nothing wrong with taking Portland on the money line and parlaying it with Denver. Like, I don't know how much the Celtics should win. They are still undefeated at the crib, so this could cash. But to stay away, I do think the Nuggets win tonight, and I do think Portland wins tonight. So parlaying those, probably like a -110, 108, something like that, 115. I think that's probably a good parlay for tonight. And then the real DJX says Blazers first quarter. Could not talk you off of that. Blazers should get there in a trifecta tonight. They should win the first quarter, first half, and full game. When the Jazz play on the road, they get smashed early. It typically happens really early. I think first half might be worse than the full game as far as the spread. So I could not talk you off of there at all. Last game up, we got the Warriors, we got the Clippers. Clippers 5.5 point home favorites in this game. These two teams just played not too long ago. It was 2 Saturdays ago. I think I was putting together the bookshelf that you guys see in the background with the shoes on it when I was watching this game. outside of this office. So in this one, like I said, the line has come down just a tad bit. I don't know if the Clippers seem to be like a little overvalued. We've been talking about that. They have been winning and covering spreads more recently, though. This total hasn't really moved at all. And to me, of course, so Draymond isn't going to be available. I think we have to mention that, of course, as everybody knows, Draymond will not be available for the foreseeable future for this team. Golden State continue to cover on the road, 84 against the number on the road. They have been a shell of themselves, though, and I keep talking about this, man. I don't know what to do with this Warriors team. I don't know if Steve Kerr knows what to do with this Warriors team. The problem here is Paul George. He got the groin injury. Not sure if he's going to play or not. He's listed as questionable. I think if I want the Clippers, I think I got to have Paul George in. I'm not 100% sure if I can play him without. I look at this Golden State team, man, and I see just a bunch of like inconsistent pieces, right? You look at the last game, Andrew Wiggins gets benched at halftime because he's not doing anything. He finishes the game with 3 points. Kevon Looney also looking like a shell of himself at times. Klay Thompson had 7 points. And the Clippers, they're one of the best defensive teams over the last 5 games in the NBA. This team is really, really locking teams down. We saw what they just did to the Kings. And I would argue right now that the Kings are a little bit better than the Warriors. So I think, like I said, I want Paul George in, but defensively, I like betting on teams that play defense. I like betting on teams that's been at the crib, and this Clippers team isn't coming off any second leg of a back-to-back or anything like that. Last 5 game stats tell me that the Clippers have been the 5th best defensive team with a 109 defensive rating. They've also been – they do struggle to rebound the basketball, which is a little interesting. But Golden State will be without Draymond. So I say all that to say I don't have a play on the game. If I was going to play it, I would probably look towards a team total. I don't really want to lay points with the Clippers, but I think that they could win and cover this spread. Golden State's going to be fired up, feisty, but they'll be shorthanded again, and you're really relying on Klay, and Wiggins, and those guys have not been performing. So I don't have a play on this game, but those are my thoughts. Go to the comments real quick. No idea. We probably won't get this news until real late, 77 figures. He says it's PG playing, not 100% sure. Fahrenheit likes Klay rebounds at 5 plus 122 on FanDuel. He says 5 rebounds in 27 minutes last game, 6 rebounds in last 2 games versus the Clippers specifically. So even if he's not making shots, maybe he's just trying to go out there and impact the game in some way. Couldn't talk you off of that, Fahrenheit. The Clippers have struggled. While they have been a good team, their rebounding is like they're mid team on rebounding. They're 14th. So over the last 5 games, Golden State's been the best rebounding team over the last 5 games. LA likes Zubac's rebound over 9.5. Could not talk you off of this spot. I remember looking at him last game. He didn't get there a couple games ago when these 2 teams played. I know he didn't get there because I was thinking about playing this double-double, and I was told myself I was glad I stayed off. But we know that the Warriors get smoked against centers. Nurkic just went over his rebound prop a couple games ago, so couldn't talk you off of there. Paul says Clippers keep their opponents to 25 points average in the first quarter. Yeah, Clippers have been Jekyll and Hyde in the first quarter, though. And they were like starting slow and then kind of catching up towards the end of the game. But more recently, they've been starting a little bit faster. So we'll see. Rose City Pick says the under, they're pretty consistent in Clippers games. Yeah, especially at home. The Clippers are really strong to the under at home. Real quick, let me pull that up for you guys. Clippers at the crib are 8-2-2 to the under. Those games are only averaging 218 points. And you see this total at 231. So let's go high totals. So totals, oh yeah, you might be on to something, Rose City Picks. So if the total in the Clippers game at home is above 228, they're 6-0 to the under. And that includes the game against the Warriors and the last one against the Warriors. They finished, that total was 229.5. And they finished at 225 points. So I'm going to write that down. I actually like that a lot. I appreciate you for shouting that out, Rose City Picks. I was already leaning, but I hadn't really done a lot of research on it. LAC and Golden State under 230. But you could wait till you get the news with Paul George. I like that. I like that a lot. Jaylen Brown is in. He is available to play. Hopefully that total goes up. Porzingis still listed as probable. Caruso is in. Desmond Bain questionable for tomorrow. So yeah, we got some injury news stuff. All right. What else you guys got? Navi likes Zubac. He's taking the points plus rebounds. He likes that. Coop says, do you think Curry puts the team on his back and does more rebounding and assist wise? He was frustrated versus the Suns. I think Coop, if Steph was in a better situation in this spot, I would agree. Like if they were playing against, like, let's say they were playing against Detroit, right? Detroit's a bad example because they done lost 100 games in a row. Let's say they were playing like Chicago, or they were playing against a team that didn't have like the greatest defense, but it was like a mid team. The problem I have here is that the Clippers really can lock up. They can really play really good defense. And I think the other thing that I looked at a couple weeks ago, I don't know how I keep all this stuff in my head, but the Warriors, they can't win. They don't win when they play the Clippers in LA. So real quick, let me just go back 2 seasons real quick. I want to give you guys the record. It's like whoever plays at home in the series wins the game. So the Warriors are 5-0 at home against the Clippers. They're 1-4 in LA when they play the Clippers. And those games are averaging 232 points. So kind of close to what we see the total at today. So yeah, I would like it more if he wasn't playing against such an elite defensive team, Coop. But I'm not on Steph today. Glowboy says, do you think that Miami first half yesterday? Thank you for that first half, Miami yesterday. One of my only cashes yesterday. I wish I had played it myself, Glowboy. I leaned that way but didn't play it. Coop shouting out Caruso being ruled in. Tactic says, bet on Siakam. Will Smith says, do the Kings win? I have no idea. No idea if the Kings win or not. I do lean towards the Thunder, though. Just didn't play them. Go Night says Warriors are cooked. I'm kind of getting there with you, man. It's pretty bad. Their bench has been playing a little bit better, but they've really struggled offensively with that starting unit. Maybe even some unders towards Clay and Wiggins tonight. Maybe hold PRA unders. And then Navi says Warrior bench playing better than the starters at the moment. That's exactly what I said. All right, so that's what we got, man. Real quick, let me tell you guys what I played. I played Portland minus the 3.5, and that's the only play I played. I'm gonna add some more. And what I'm looking at, like I said, I'm gonna see what that total does in the Boston game. Hopefully, with Jaylen Brown being ruled in, it pushes it up. But I like that game. Hold on, did somebody get ruled in? This spreads down to 3.5 for Chicago. So you wait till the dust settles, and then you take. If you want to take Miami in the first half, you're gonna get a much better number. With the spread coming down to 3.5 right now is what I see it at. But I am going to go Cleveland and Boston under 225.5. That number was the best number was available when we capped the game was 115 on BetMGM. So I'm gonna play that. Also, strong leans towards Jokic to go over his rebounds. You guys kind of talked me into that one. And Minnesota money line for Minnesota. I just need, like I said, I need Jaden McDaniels in because I don't need Luka out there looking like he, Magic Johnson getting 17 assists like he did to the Lakers. So Minnesota on the money line, not playing it yet. I'm gonna wait till the news come out. But if he's ruled in, I'll get there on them. Denver first half minus the 4.5, another really strong lean. Didn't bet that. If you guys got requests, send them to me. Let me know what you guys are on. Try to be quick and wrap the show up. But let me know what you guys are on. I'm pulling guys speed up right now. Let me know what you guys are on. And that's all I'm gonna ride with. I'm not gonna play too many plays today. Boston, Cleveland under. That number is going up. I see it up to 226.5 now that Jaylen Brown is being ruled in. Hopefully it touches 227, and then I'm taking the under. And then Minnesota, if Jaden McDaniels gets ruled in, Denver really want to get their first half with them minus the 4.5. This is a strong lean right now. I'll see how the night plays out. Clippers, Golden State under 230 as well. I think without Draymond, Clippers, the Golden State offense probably gonna struggle even more. And they can struggle to score against the Clippers team that plays really, really good lockdown defense. So those are my thoughts. Godspeed, you up first, my brother. Talk to me. What's going on?
What's going on, Chris? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. How you?
I'm doing good, man. I got a treat for y'all, man.
What you got?
It's a treat. I've been waiting on this for about 2 weeks now. Starting a 10K challenge today to specifically try to finish it on Christmas Day. And what better way than to treat the gambling community with $10K in their pocket from $10? You feel me? So I'm going for the $10K challenge starting today. Like I said, if we hit every day, we gonna finish up on Christmas. We gonna buy some games on Christmas, and we're gonna make $10,000.
Hey, Godspeed. If you lose people $10,000 on Christmas, they're gonna hate you forever. Just FYI. But I'm messing with you, bro. All good vibes, man. All good vibes, bro.
So I'm gonna go ahead and share my challenge up top, but I'm gonna run through it real quick, and I'm gonna give y'all a brief description. I don't have any props that I took straight. I do have a couple leans that I absolutely love, but I wanted to focus on this 10K challenge for the next 10 days. So my first prop was Nikola Jokic, 10 plus rebounds. Jokic is averaging 13.3 rebounds at home this season. He's had 10 rebounds in 10 out of 10 home games. That is hit at 100% rate at home this season. And versus Claxton last season, he had a game with 20 rebounds and a game with 17 rebounds. I know you touched on it, Chris. I love Nikola Jokic at home tonight, especially after getting ejected. I think he comes out hot and ready to go. Another prop that I took in that game is Michael Porter Jr. for 2+ 3-pointers made. He's averaging 3.4 3-pointers made at home. Again, he's another guy that's 10 for 10 at home, 100% hit rate at the crib. He covered in both his games versus Brooklyn last season with a game of 3 and 5 3-pointers made. When he hit the 5 3-pointers made, that was a home game. He tends to do better at home versus on the road. And the Nets allow the 5th most 3-pointers made to the small forward position. My next prop, I got is Rudy Gobert, 10 rebounds versus Dallas. A smash spot, man. He's averaging 12 rebounds a season. He's got 10 plus rebounds in just 7 out of 10 games, so that's 70%. But he covered in both games versus Dallas last season. We know Dallas continue to struggle to guard power forwards, keep them off the glass, centers keep them off the glass. So last season he had 15 and 14 rebounds versus them, and they allowed the 5th most rebounds to the center position. And lastly, but not least, I took Kawhi Leonard to grab 4 rebounds. He's averaging 5.8 rebounds this season, 4+ rebounds in 10 out of 10 home games, 100% hit rate on that prop as well. He's covered in 5 out of the last 5 games versus Golden State, and the 2 times that he's seen them this season, he had 7 and 8 rebounds. Again, Paul George is questionable, so if you're going to tell this, I would jump on this now because his rebound line will shift when Paul George, if he is ruled in. So if I like it with Paul George or without Paul George, they're giving up the 6th most rebounds to the power forward position. So just to run that back real quick, Nikola Jokic, 10 rebounds, Michael Porter Jr., 2 threes, Gobert, 10 rebounds, and Kawhi, 4 rebounds. I got it at plus 102. Like I said, I'm going to share it at the top for anybody that want to check it out. My 2 leans, SGA steals and blocks. I gave it out on the show. I want to say last week, it was the first half cast. SGA in his last 3 games, 3 out of his last 4 games, he's had 6, 7, and 7 steals plus blocks. He's averaging like 4.2 steals plus blocks on the road. And he had 4 in the 1 game that he's seen Sacramento. And another gem that I really, really like tonight is James Harden points. He's 20 points away from 25K. He's had 20 points in 3 out of the last 4 home games. He also had 20 points the first game versus Golden State. So I really, really love James Harden tonight. I believe he's in a lot of spot. Golden State, they can't guard point guards. So I believe we see James Harden what other way than to hit 25K at home, in LA. So, yeah, that's what I got, Chris. Like I said, I'm going to set the 10K up top. If y'all want to tell it, go ahead and put it in. But good luck to everybody tonight.
Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you guys, Pete. Hopefully you can run that thing up, man. Best of luck, bro. Let's go Dream. And then we'll get up off here. I don't see any more requests. What up, Dream?
What's the vibe, my guy?
What up, bro? How you?
I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, I was in here yesterday. I gave out that good plus 1,000. So if you tell, you're welcome. If not, start telling. But yeah, it was pretty sweat free with the bigs to do the PPDs and cash and all that. So gonna try and do it again. Got some good spots I like. I'm not gonna go through all my straights, but I love my straights. They on my page. But some of these blunt money bets to reflect my straight bets. So yeah, Duncan Robinson 5 threes. Spencer Dinwiddie 8 assists, and Keegan Murray, my favorite player on the whole slate tonight. 8 rebounds. So Duncan Robinson 5 threes. Spencer Dinwiddie 8 assists. Keegan Murray 8 rebounds. That is a plus 2,000. Didn't round robin them, just played them straight. So some brief analysis. Duncan Robinson had 6 threes first time he played Chicago. Chicago gives up the second most threes to shooting guards. I know he played yesterday. Don't care, he can shoot. Spencer Dinwiddie 16 and 11 assists. Last season versus Denver. And what's Spencer been doing lately? 12, 11, 7, 8, 8, 3, 4, 9, 8, 7. So sounds good to me. This last 10 games. So Spencer Dinwiddie 8 assists. And Keegan Murray, I'll get into my guy in a second here, but 8 rebounds. He should get 10 tonight. I heard one of your commenters bring up a good point about him being on ball. Yeah, he did get 10 rebounds being on ball this year. He got 10 rebounds when they played earlier this year. I don't know what it is about this team, but in 4 games versus OKC in his career, Keegan Murray, he's averaging 21 and 10. He had 3 3-pointers in all 4 games, 29 and 14, 20 and 6, 13 and 10, 24 and 11. So yeah, in one of those games, like I said, he was on ball and he had 10 rebounds. So do with that information as you please. You already know I got busy on my channel. I'm gonna just share the looks with y'all or share the information with y'all. Y'all do with that as you please. And KP and Monk. So I like their threes tonight. I played 3 and 3 for KP and Monk and 4 and 4 for KP and Monk together. It's a plus 466 and a plus 2297. I really like Malik Monk tonight off the bench. Kevin Huerter not getting as many minutes lately. I think his last 4 games, he's under 20 minutes. And that will correlate with Malik Monk getting more minutes. Also, OKC gives up, I don't know, second or third most threes to shooting guards. Klay Thompson killed them earlier this year. A few teams done got right from 3, so I think that's Malik Monk as well. Couldn't talk you off his assists, but yeah, love Malik Monk. 3s tonight, and Porzingis. I was on his 2 threes in the W last game. It hit. Definitely left some meat on the bone. I think he's gonna have an opportunity to shoot some more 3s and hit a few more shots. So yeah, Kristaps Porzingis. And Malik Monk 3 threes, and Kristaps Porzingis and Malik Monk 4 threes. And one little tidbit I want to leave you with, and y'all can do whatever y'all want with it. Claxton. So everybody talking about Jokic, that's well deserved. But I don't think I heard anybody mention Nick Claxton. Nick Claxton, 19 and 20 points last year against Nikola Jokic. If you actually watch Nikola Jokic, he struggles against slender builds that can actually run past him. Nick Claxton, he's gotten a little better. He can dribble a little bit. He can do a little Euro step and get past Jokic, catch a lob, obviously beat Jokic up the floor. So there's a reason he had 19 and 20 points last year against Nikola Jokic, and it wasn't like he was taking 20 shots. So think about what Chet Holmgren did to Jokic, and he's no Chet. But again, just quicker, skinnier guys that is obviously tough for a big, plotting guy to keep up with. So do whatever what you want with that information. I appreciate it, my boy.
Absolutely, Jane. That's really good insight. Really good insight on Claxton. Every time it feels like I'm watching the Nuggets game and the opposing team scores, the points are scored in the paint. Jokic give it up for sure. So appreciate Dream for shedding some light on that. I think the parlays Dream guy put in on point tonight. A lot of good spots for sure that I kind of overlooked. Lot of reads by Dream. Real quick, address 2 things in the chat real quick. Will Smith says, it's funny, man. It's gonna be funny for people who know me. Will Smith says, will there be anywhere to see your picks for parlay? And I addressed it, Will, until Will, no parlays for me, Will. And he says, so do you bet individual things like singularly? Absolutely. That's how I bet. I always bet single bets, Will. Just try to run up the single bets, man. It's rare you see a parlay for me. So I just want to address that because I know the community is growing every single day. This is not the place where you're gonna get rich overnight. If you come into my channel and you're looking for my play specifically, unless you parlay all of them, and sometimes people do it, sometimes they win. But yeah, gambling is gambling, man. I don't do a lot of parlays. Main A says, so Chris, you done with the 10K challenge? No, I'm not done with the 10K challenge. So we tried the 10K challenge a couple times. I think we tried it twice and we lost on the second leg the second time, and on the first leg the first time. I think LeBron sold us on the first game. I think it was the game in Cleveland. I always remember my bets, man. LeBron didn't get 25 points. It was the game that Anthony Davis actually did well. But I'll say all that to say this. No, we're not done with it. The reason why I stopped was because I wanted to focus on the in-season tournament. You know, something like we had never seen before. And I just wanted to kind of be locked in on that. So I kind of, faded away from the 10K challenge. Are we done with it? Absolutely not. We'll find a way to do it. And we'll make 10K this year. We'll make 10K doing the 10K challenge. I'm absolutely certain of that. Like that doesn't, I don't think it's a big thing at all. Like I gave out 10 bets in a row last year doing bets on Bet US in a row that cashed at, like one single bet. So yeah, we're, I don't like doing 5. I'm not trying to put 5 things together to get to -1, minus 110 or plus 100. But, we can find 2 things, to get there, or sometimes just one single bet is the way I'm going to be doing the 10K challenge. And we'll start it back up. I got to figure out when I want to do it and how I'm going to do it. But yeah, we'll do the 10K challenge for sure. Navi, got some love for Claxton tonight as well, what you dream. And yeah, that's it, man. I think, like I said, I'm trying to find the total because I will be on that team on that total to go over, to go under in the Boston game. Boston and Cleveland, especially with Boston being on the first leg of a back-to-back tonight. So right now I see that total at 226.5 on DraftKings at -108. I like that number. That's probably what I'm gonna end up getting to. 226.5 is available a lot of different places. Caesars has it. BetMGM has it. Bet Rivers has it. No, BetMGM doesn't have it. They got 225. But everywhere else, FanDuel, and it's not juiced anywhere. All -110. So that'll be a play. Also, Portland minus the 3.5. Like I said, I think the 2-leg money line parlay with Portland and if you don't want to lay the points for Portland because this is their first time being a favorite, parlaying them with Denver on the money line, I think is a good look tonight. Like the Jokic over his rebounds, like the Clippers and Golden State under their 230, and I like Minnesota on the money line. Like I said, didn't play any of those yet, but probably gonna get there with all of those. So official plays will be posted, in the membership group as always. And then the other one was Denver first half minus the 4.5. So those are the things I'll be looking towards throughout the night as we get more clarity on the injury report. Godspeed, I'm gonna kick it back to you before we jump off. What's up, Godspeed?
Real quick, I just wanted to piggyback off what Dream said. OKC, we do give it up to shooting guards, but another angle that I looked at was we don't like this guy because he don't care about our parlays. But Kevin Huerter, he kills OKC. His line is 9.5. He averaged about 9 points on the road. We know road players play better at home. He averaged about 15 points at the crib. Last time he played OKC, he did have 28 points. The game before that, he had 20 points. He's over that 9.5, and I want to say 4 out of 6 the last 6 matchups. Yeah, we get it up. So Shea and Fox should do their thing. I think Sabonis played with triple-double. But I do think either Malik Monk or Kevin Huerter, one of them going to get busy too. So, yeah.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate that insight. And I do remember Kevin Huerter killing them in the last game. As soon as you said that, Godspeed, he killed them with no Fox. He went crazy. I forgot how many shots he made, how many points he scored, but I remember watching him like kill them. I do remember that.
NBA he's random. He's just seen Dante Exum go off like.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So
that's a fact.
I mean, it's a look.
Yeah, not for sure. Okay, I appreciate Dream. I appreciate Godspeed for contributing to the show as always. 100 and 100. An hour and just about 20 minutes in the books, man. Going over this 7-game slate. Let me give you a top player every game real quick, just for people who might want to put together something. So Cavs and Celtics under 226.5 would be my best bet in that game. Bulls and Heat, it would be Heat first half minus the 1. Let's see what number we can get now. We might be able to get a 1. I like the Heat in the first half. Like I said, they've been. I don't know if they're gonna cover the full game, but first half spread, I think they could potentially, cover that short number, especially with Caruso being ruled in now. You could get -1.5 for the Heat on FanDuel, -110. So not a lot of juice being laid there. I like that as well. I had that written down in my notes. Miami didn't play it last night and probably should have. I think Miami can come, start off with another, hot start in this one, just because the Bulls struggle in the first half. So Miami first half -1.5. If I had to play anything in that game, Timberwolves and Mavericks, like I said, waiting on Jaden McDaniels news. If Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels get ruled in, this line will flip, and you'll see the Timberwolves, favorites. I will be taking the Timberwolves on the money line in that spot then, but I need to know what's going on with those guys. Nuggets in the Nets. We talked about Jokic over his rebounds at 12.5, 13.5. And then also Nuggets in the first half for me would be the top look, -4.5. Thunder and the Kings, I can't give you a play in that game. I think I lean more towards the over. The number's up three points, so I don't want to get too involved there. But I do think both of these teams score 120 points in this game, and they need to score about 122.5 to 123 apiece to get over this number. And comfortably, they need to score about 124.5. So Jazz Blazers gave out the Blazers -3.5. The number is up to 4.5 on some books now. And then Warriors and Clippers. I need to know what's going on with Paul George, but potentially some unders for the Warriors players because they just been struggling, man. I think that bench continues to play better than the starters. Klay Thompson went under his points in the last game. He in the last game that they played like in a matchup against the Clippers, and he went under in his most recent game. The Clippers are a really good team against the three-point line as well. So I lean towards Klay to go under his points. Wouldn't touch Steph because he just has that candy ability to go crazy. And that would be the top play that I'm looking at in every single game. So appreciate you guys for tapping in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We'll do it all again tomorrow. We got I think it's a pretty nice slate for tomorrow. And, a lot of opportunities to face some bad teams and to back some good teams. So we'll see how it goes, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Best of luck on all your action today. And I'll be back tomorrow. Hit the like button for me on your way out. See you guys tomorrow.